Check out this video clip. This was actually filmed about 5 years ago.
Less than a week after the raids, one of the poultry companies involved held a job fair.
WJTV 12's Shay O'Connor reports from Coch Foods in Scott County.
Bright and early Monday morning, dozens of people turned out at Coch Foods employment centers in Martin and the Wynn Job Center in Forest are looking for a job.
I heard that, they were hiring, so I came down here to see if they needed somebody to drive one of the trucks for them, and me and my cousins, we came up here to see if they were hiring anywhere else in the warehouse.
The influx in job openings comes nearly a week after 680 undocumented workers were detained in ICE raids at food plants across the state. In the town of Morton alone, 243 people were taken from food plants, Coch Foods being where the highest numbers of workers were detained. Organizers with Wynn Job Center in Forest say they were contacted by the food company last week to conduct the fair.
They have to continue with business as usual. When they continue with business as usual, that means that they have to have enough people in order to process the poultry. And if they don't have that, then of course the lines are going to go down and they're not going to be able to be as productive as they should.
Coch Foods has at least 3 locations within the Morton area. Many who live in or near the small town say the plant doesn't hire much. Vermandis Davis says he is still shaken up by the raids, but says the job openings provide an opportunity for many.
I'm praying for the families of the people that got detained, for the situation that happened, but I feel bad for everything, but it just opened up more doors for other people that couldn't get anything done.
I just kept seeing it over the news and all over, and I was like, man, it's just crazy. I didn't think it was that much of a problem. It was like, there's going to be more people that want a job, so, that give me a shot to go get a job. Because I need a job myself for me and my kids.
Organizers say all that's required for those who apply is 2 forms of identity. We reached out to Coch Foods for comment. They declined. In Forest, Shay O'Connor, 12 News.
Okay, so as the news report suggested, this is, well, she said Coach, it's a Coch. I don't know how they pronounce. We usually pronounce it Coch, so we'll just go with that. Coch Foods, they're located. One of their locations is in Mississippi. Again, like I said, this video was done like 5 years ago, where you had this a chicken processing plant where they were just hiring a whole bunch of illegals. And what happened? The feds caught up to them. The feds had to basically get all of them out of there. And what happens? The very people that a lot of people say that are not interested in doing, quote unquote, that kind of work. Guess what? We showed up to get those jobs. Well, this company, it actually has a little bit of history because apparently they've been doing this for some time. Now, this next clip is about the same company. This time is 17 years ago. Let's roll that.
It scared them a lot. Now they're afraid to go out and stuff, and they're trying to be careful of everything they do.
Out of fear, these women did not want to be identified. One of their sisters was among the 160 others caught in yesterday's raid at Coch Foods in Fairfield.
And scared that she might not be able to come home. She had 3 kids. So.
Because she has children, her sister was able to return home. 60 other people were released for similar reasons. 80 remain in ICE custody, and 20 are in the Butler County Jail tonight. In addition to immigration violations, those 20 face criminal charges for forgery and identity theft.
When you commit a crime and you steal, and make no mistake about it, you are stealing someone else's ID, shame on you.
Now, unfortunately, you may not want to get too excited about this because apparently this company has had some discrimination charges against them, as you see right here on the screen. And this comes to us by way of Wikipedia. They said Coch has been accused of discriminating against black contract farmers and retaliating against those who spoke out. From 2009 to 2015, the company went from having contracts with 4 black farmers in Mississippi to having none. The USDA investigators found evidence of unjust discrimination against black farmers by Coch. And then it goes on to the next one. It says in 2012, the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission brought a class employment discrimination lawsuit against Coch, alleging harassment of workers and discrimination based on national origin and race at Coch Morton, Mississippi plant. The lawsuit alleges that workers were subjected to touching and sexually suggestive comments were charged money for normal everyday work activities, among other things. And then they said in 2018, the company paid out $3.7 million plus other relief to settle the case. What this story brings out is actually two things. Number one, it dismisses the claim that somehow black people, particularly on the lower end of the economic scale, simply don't want to work those kind of jobs. When in fact, as you saw just in this story, that the thing that was preventing people on the lower end of the economic scale from getting employment was in fact illegal immigration. And once that was removed out of the equation, then immediately, as soon as they held a job fair, guess who shows up? Black people. It reminds me of a video that I did recently. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's a short video, but it's John Boyd Jr. He is the president. I believe it's called the Black Farmers Association. They just recently got this over $1 billion payout. Remember, that payout wasn't exclusively to black farmers, even though that's how they're putting it out there. It was to black farmers and other farmers of color. But one of the things that John Boyd said in this interview I'm about to play for you, he acknowledged the fact that the workers that he was going after, really that he needed, he was in need of immigrants, people coming over across the border, while at the same time he was saying that, you know, he was alluding to the fact that young black people don't have any interest in doing that kind of work.
Well, this legislation is very, very important for America's farmers, especially livestock producers. And many people don't understand that livestock farmers need help year round. It's not more like seasonal work for vegetables and things of that nature. And I used to raise eggs for Purdue Poultry for 14 years. And it's 7 days a week around the clock. And it's hard to find workers, you know, that want to do this kind of work. The real answer would be to get more Americans and more young people interested into farming and agribusiness in the United States. But it's not happening quickly enough. And farmers rely on these workers every day to help get their crops in and help maintain their farming operations. Yes, and I've been farming for 40 years, a very, very long time. The average age of a black farmer in this country is 61 years of age. And the problem is we just don't have a lot of young people that are raising their hand that want to do this hard work. It's hard work, but it's the most rewarding work that you can do, farming, the oldest occupation known to man. And the hardest occupation known to man is farming. But we need more young people to get into it and to really take some interest in where their food is being produced.
But the video that we did, we talked about how you have many, many colleges and universities all across America where you do have numbers of young black people who want to do that kind of work. The problem is that a lot of these farmers do not want to pay what these individuals are actually worth and what they bring to the table. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check that one out. The second thing that this whole story brings out is that people who are working on the lower end of the economic scale, what they have to contend with. I mean, like this lawsuit that we just read about, you know, it's not just getting lower paying jobs, but they also have to deal with the harassment. They have to deal with being overworked and, you know, all the other things that happens on the job, you know. And so, you know, so you just heard in that story. Then I have this other clip, too, that I want to share with you. This was going on in Springfield. This particular company here, they were saying how much they just love having the Haitians work there because, and I'll let you hear it. You just listen to the video yourself.
Amy McGregor is the CEO of McGregor Medal, which makes welded parts for the auto and farm industries. Right now, about 10% of his workforce is Haitian, over 30 employees.
I wish I had 30 more. Our Haitian associates come to work every day. They don't have a drug problem. They'll stay at their machine. They'll achieve their numbers. They are here to work. And so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
But fortunately, someone actually did a little research on this company, and they found this review here of someone claiming to have worked there. Now, this review was left over a year ago, and they were saying how the poor mistreatment that they experience in these jobs. So again, it's not that black people don't want to work these jobs. It's the fact that what they often have to deal with when they do work these kind of low paying jobs. But as you saw, even with that, you still have numbers of black individuals that want to work so that they can get paid, so that they can take care of their basic necessities. So make no mistake about it, as much as certain individuals want to make it seem as if immigration, or I should say illegal immigration, isn't really having an impact, particularly on the black community, you know, here is just an example, one of many examples where it actually is. Because at the same time, like I said earlier, we as black people, we get oftentimes are accused of not wanting to work certain jobs because we don't want to work hard. And unfortunately, like Mr. Boyd's case, you even have black individuals who are repeating these same lies. And enough is enough. And because as you just saw, black people there are many that are eagerly wanting to work these jobs. But unfortunately, in this particular example, they're prevented from getting these types of employment because of the fact that you have a bunch of illegals that are coming in and taking up those jobs. And I will say this, whichever candidate makes this a priority when it comes to illegal immigration in this country, they are definitely in the lead. Forget the numbers, forget whatever you see on the internet, on Twitter or whatever. If immigration is not the forefront, I'm telling you right now, that candidate is going to be severely hurt at the end of the day on election day. I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm not telling you who to vote, but you do have two candidates, one who is at least saying something about it. I do question his record on it, you know, and that's Donald Trump. But then you have someone else who was actually made this czar for the border, and everything that she has done while currently in this position has left the doors open for more and more of this to happen. That's all I have for you right now for Samba News. I'm Dwayne. If you like what you're hearing and what you're getting off of this platform and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and make sure you click the bell, of course, like everybody else says as well, so that you can get the notifications. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, and I'll see you soon.